The governing body has also asked me to address another topic that I must say hits close to my heart, being a father who raised two boys. The subject is the abuse of children and the damaging effects this can have on such innocent victims. As an organization, we view all such abuse of children, whether physical, sexual, or emotional, as deplorable. As you likely know, Jehovah's Witnesses take a stronger position than most on the scriptural inappropriateness of any form of immorality. However, to take advantage of innocent young ones is absolutely despicable. As a religious organization, we have taken a decisive stand against such behavior. It is our fervent desire to protect children from any kind of abuse. Our policy as an organization is that one professing to be a victim or his parents should never be discouraged from reporting the incident to the appropriate authorities. While child abuse has been perpetrated earthwide in many cultures for thousands of years, it is only in the past 40 years or so that the magnitude and the extent of the problem has become better known. This is because governmental agencies are now determined to take a more active interest in this problem. Laws were enacted requiring medical and other professionals to report cases to the authorities when they became aware of them. Prior to that time, many governmental, educational, and religious organizations were somewhat naive about the magnitude and the complexity of the situation. Others knew of the problem and covered it up. What has our position been as an organization? When what was termed as the new morality became popular over 50 years ago, which included sexual relations among young ones, we condemned such behavior based on the Bible's unerring and timeless principles. As the awareness of child abuse became more and more known, we published a landmark Awake magazine over 30 years ago. It was the issue of June 22nd, 1982. There are 5 article titles that nailed the subject in a very straightforward manner. The first article was entitled, "The New Morality." And then, "Chickens and Hawks" was the second article. It warned about homosexual men who prey on and advocate the right to use boys for sex. Shame on them. The next article, "Baby Pros in Kiddie Porn," condemned prostitute rings that employed small girls in an array of abuse. Then rape at home, no further explanation needed on that. And finally, the article, "To End Child Abuse." I remember this magazine well, since I had 2 boys who were in elementary school at the time. And again, remember that the world in general was still somewhat naive about the magnitude of this issue and the gravity of the problem. I read the 5 articles. Then I looked at my 2 boys, and I said a prayer to Jehovah, thanking him for moving the organization to be so proactive in trying to help parents to protect their young ones from the plague of the new morality and the abuse of children. This issue has been straightforwardly addressed in print many times since then. I'd now like you to view a PSA. What is a PSA? It stands for Public Service Announcement. It is a message of public interest which is aired by the media without charge. The objective is to raise awareness about changing public attitudes and behavior towards a social issue. Television stations are not obligated to play all such 30 to 60-second messages provided. However, if the topic and production value captures their attention, they can choose to air a PSA for the benefit of the viewing audience. In the late 1990s, the governing body approved 4 PSAs on the subject of family life. I'd like to show you one of these that was produced back in 2002. It was picked up and aired by some of the largest TV networks in the United States. Why? Because they realized this type of warning was important for their viewing audience to see. It is true, the type of computer equipment shown in the video dates it. However, the message is just as pertinent now as then, and maybe even more so. Please watch.
Lui ti capisce. Ti fa sentire speciale. Sa tutto quello che ti piace. È il tuo migliore amico. E c'è sempre quando hai bisogno di lui. Sembra troppo bello per essere vero. Lo è. Genitori, proteggete i vostri figli. E soprattutto date ai vostri figli conoscenza, sapienza e capacità di pensare. Il segreto per una famiglia felice è l'amore.
While we cannot control everything that an individual might say, it is clear that over the decades, protecting children from abuse is a top priority for this organization. We are proud of our reputation in this regard. And we look forward to the time in God's new world when no one, young or old, will ever again be a victim of abuse. Since the latter part of our discussion has addressed what Jehovah's organization has done to protect children from predators, it gives me great pleasure to release at this time another animated video in the series, Become Jehovah's Friend. It is entitled, Protect Your Children.
Bambini, Geova vuole che siate felici e al sicuro. Ma alcune persone vogliono farvi del male. Perciò Geova vi ha dato la coscienza. È come un allarme che vi aiuta a capire cosa è giusto e cosa è sbagliato. Vi proteggerà dai pericoli. Ora io e la mamma vi aiuteremo a provare il vostro sistema d'allarme. Pronti? Se qualcuno ti dice qualcosa che ti mette a disagio o ti spaventa, cosa farai?
Non sono sicuro, ma non mi piace. Smettila!
Molto bene. Digli di smetterla. E poi racconta tutto a mamma e papà. Qualsiasi cosa ti dica, a noi non devi nascondere niente.
E se qualcuno ti chiede di fare qualcosa che ti mette a disagio?
Gli dico no!
Giusto, devi dire no e andare via.
E se qualcuno prova a toccarti dove non deve?
Non glielo lascio fare, scappo via!
Bravo, Lele. Anche se è un adulto che conosci e di cui ti fidi, devi dire no e scappare via. Devi gridare smettila, racconterò tutto.
Smettila! Racconterò tutto!
Il mondo può fare paura, ma non siete mai soli. Ricordate, avete la vostra coscienza, mamma e papà che vi vogliono bene e ricordate, avete Geova.
We're happy to see how Jehovah's organization continues to teach our young ones how to make wise choices when the figurative monsters of this world try to lure them into their traps. And you parents should be commended for your tireless efforts to protect your children.